What's going on, everybody? It's MangaxHunter, and today I am bringing you my first haul of 2020, and it is a big one indeed. It's been about a month and a half since I posted my last haul, so I got a good amount of manga to show you guys and talk about. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off, we have probably I would say my favorite ongoing shonen right now, and that is Black Clover Volume 19. Really loving this cover. Black Clover, one of the few shonens that I just can't wait to read the new volumes as they come out. Really love the world, love the characters, love Asta, love Yuna. Just really love this series, and especially the arc that it's out right now. Really intense, really good action, and I can't recommend this enough for my shonen fans out there. Next we have the Quintessential Quintuplets Volume 7. So I had a few nincompoops spoil the ending of Quintessential Quintuplets on Twitter. So if you're currently reading this, be wary of the spoilers. But regardless of that, I'm still really loving this series. So funny, just really wholesome and sweet. Love the characters too. It's crazy how there's 5 sisters that are pretty similar, but also very unique in their own right, and they're all interesting characters, and they're all fun to hear about. There's never a character that I'm just really annoyed with whenever the story's focused on them. But really love the art. Definitely recommend this series if you're in the mood for something like sweet slice of life with a good comedy as well. Love this series. Next up, we have Kamui Can't Communicate Volume 5. Kamui Can't Communicate is just a series that I love so much. It's a 4-coma, really good comedy. I would kind of compare it to like a sitcom similar to like Friends or How I Met Your Mother, not in the sense of the story, but in the sense of kind of the experience you're getting, just like fun, quick, new scenarios. There's an overarching story with Kamui trying to make more friends, and the relationship that's kind of explored between her and Tadano, but it's just funny, new scenarios, kind of episodic almost, and just a really great, enjoyable read. I've actually even got my wife to start reading this, so definitely recommend Kamui Can't Communicate. Next up, we have the Promised Neverland, which I am almost caught up to as far as reading. This is the most recent volume out in North America, but I took a big hiatus on Promised Neverland after like volume 6. I've been picking it up recently and am in love with it. The arc that I'm on is, I think I'm just wrapping up the Goldie Pond arc, but the intensity of the Promised Neverland, I'm kind of cautious to show panels because I know there's a decent amount of spoilers, but the intensity in the Promised Neverland is just really something that I've not seen matched within manga. It's very fast paced. The story keeps pushing along, doesn't really slow down for much except for like necessary breaths, and it's just extremely intelligent. It's a very intelligent plot that I really enjoy, and I highly recommend it, guys. Definitely pick up Promised Neverland if you haven't. It's very unique and great. Next, we have My Hero Academia Volume 23, another series that I've recently been catching up on. Really love the arc that's going on right now. Just kind of getting to see the Class 1A students be students, actually spend time together, kind of getting to see them grow outside of fighting villains, which can kind of, the villain fights are amazing, but it kind of is like rinse and repeat. Not saying that as a jab, just it's a nice switch of pace to see them actually going up against each other and growing in that aspect. Really loving the growth I'm seeing with Midoriya, and also kind of the story, how it's gone along with Todoroki and his dad, and seeing Endeavor becoming the number 1 hero and the challenges that he's facing with that. But love My Hero. Next, we have Jujitsu Kaizen Volume 2, a new series that has been getting a lot of rave and attention, and I can see why. I really love the art. I love the action. The combat just has like a really good sense of flow and intensity that I really appreciate within manga. And there's a few manga that like come to mind when I think about really great action, and it's easy to follow, but also has that like good intensity. And this has showing a lot of promise in that aspect, as well as the main character, I think Yuji is his name. More was explored in this volume. You see more of the villains. You just see more of the world, and I really liked what I got out of this volume. Definitely going to be continuing to pick this up. And also thank you, Viz, for sending this volume to me. I really appreciate it, guys. Next, we have Demon Slayer or Kimetsu no Yaiba Volume 10. I've taken a break on the series. I have not read this volume yet, but I'm really enjoying Demon Slayer. It's selling absolutely insane amounts, which is just really cool to see a series really blowing up as a manga fan. But I'm enjoying the series. I feel like the art has kind of evolved a bit as more and more volumes have come out. That might just be me, but the art style seems to have gotten more detailed and changed a bit. But maybe I'm just tripping. But enjoy the series. Gonna let my backlog build a little bit more before I dive into it, but definitely recommend it. Next we have The Hero is Overpowered but Overly Cautious. I haven't read this volume yet. Base Senpai really enjoyed light novels, and so I kind of piqued my interest, and it looked like a funny concept, so I decided to pick it up. It's really thin, so it'll just be a volume that I kind of knock out in one sitting, but looks funny. I like the art, and just seems like a kind of stupid but silly concept that I wanted to explore. Next we have my room is a dungeon rest stop. To be quite honest, there was nothing too substantial to this volume. Pretty stupid if I'm being honest, but kind of endearing and funny. And the main characters are pretty cute. Like, they look pretty adorable. Just kind of a fun premise. I think I'll grab a couple more volumes and see if it does anything to push my interest. But as of right now, I enjoyed it, but I feel like there's not much more to the series outside of, you know, little giggles and just kind of a cute little story. But I enjoyed it, and I'll probably pick up the next couple volumes. It's a thin one, kind of expensive for how thin it is, but whatever. So now getting into my signature volumes and more of the thicker volumes, I got Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse by Denpa, this is my first Denpa volume that I've ever purchased, but still haven't had a chance to read this yet. I hear it's a pretty beloved series out in Japan. Here it's got really good intensity. It's a gambling manga, and I hear Kaiji, the main character, is just a pretty entertaining protagonist. So excited to get into this. The art seems pretty interesting. But yeah, Kaiji. I'm glad to have picked this up. Hopefully Denpa can finish printing it out, because I hear it's a pretty long series. Next we have No Guns Life Volume 3, another series that I am really enjoying. That's relatively new. Really love the art design and just love the world. Very cyberpunky, really dark, really gritty, honestly, and just a cool premise. Like, look at this. Look at these characters. Like, they just look so sick to me. But I really like the intensity and the art design too. Those are probably the two things that are pushing it for me. The main character, nothing too great about him. He's kind of a dull protagonist, but I feel like he's got some potential. So that's nice, and just a good premise. I enjoy it, and these are definitely worth the money. They're kind of thick for signature editions. Speaking of not so thick, we have The Way of the House Husband Volume 2, but quantity does not necessarily equate to quality. That is a perfect description when it comes to The Way of the House Husband. Very thin volumes, read them within 20 minutes, but they are just hilarious. Really enjoy it. Just very serious situations that should not be serious, which just makes for really great moments. Definitely right up my alley as far as comedy goes, and I think the faces are pretty funny too. That's like a funny face. But love this series, and I just wish they would come out quicker. But I heard that it was just supposed to be a one-shot, but it did so well that the manga decided to keep it going, and I'm glad, because I just want more. Next we have the series that I honestly can't wait for more volumes that come out. As soon as I see that they were delivered, I grab them, read it instantly, and anticipate the next volume coming out, and that is Beastars Volume 4. This volume is no exception to my the previous things I've said about Beastars. Absolutely fantastic. Really love this volume. You kind of see that love triangle going on between Legoshi, Louis, and Haru. I don't know if I would say it's a love triangle, but there's definitely some confliction going on there. An amazing volume. Some really cool depth with Legoshi. Gosh, what a sick panel. I just absolutely love this series. Love the dialogue between characters. I just burned through each volume. Can't recommend this one enough, guys. Ooh, and this volume ended on such an intense note too. There was a huge cliffhanger that this one ended on. That added some more complexity to the story. But pick up Beastars, guys. Next we have Grand Blue Dreaming Volume 9, a series that is over the top, very ridiculous, very stupid, some would say, but despite those things, it is absolutely hilarious, extremely entertaining, and has fantastic art. everything that this series should not be, it is. It is great. It's hilarious. It's got a great story, and it's just such an entertaining ride for not the reasons you think it would be. Great characters, great art. I would say pick up this series despite the way that it may seem. Give it a chance, and I'm willing to bet you find something to enjoy from it. And I really, really love the series. Next up, kind of switching it, we have a series that I'm a little on edge about, and that is Gleipnir Volume 5. I think I'm going to pick up one more volume of the series, give it a last shot. That'll probably be the last one I pick up unless it really starts to turn up. But, you know, Gleipnir, cool action, I would say. Relatively interesting premise. But there's just so many great series out, so many great series to pick up that there's just not enough compelling me to justify picking this one up over some other series. But I will continue. I'll grab one more volume, give it a last chance, and then go from there. But I'm still enjoying it. It just, like I said, there's so many more volumes out, so many more series out there that are way better that it's hard to justify picking that one up. And now getting into more of the bigger portions of series that I picked up. Starting off, we probably have the pickup that I'm most excited about, and that is Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer Complete. So volumes 1 to 2, the first omnibus, volumes 3 and 4, volumes 5 and 6, and these are all in pretty great condition if I do say so myself. Volumes 7 and 8, and finally volumes 9 to 10, the last volume. My boy Flip Otaku seriously hooked it up with an amazing deal on these. I've been wanting to read it. I hear it's a fantastic shonen, and I'm a huge shonen fan, so I definitely, as soon as he offered it to me, I picked it up. Have not got a chance to dive into it yet, but here, you know, it's about mystical beasts, a boy trying to protect a girl, and eventually leading to him trying to save the world. And I just hear it's got really great dialogue, great comedy, and really great characters too, and just everything you need in a great shonen. I hear Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer has, so can't wait to just binge this out in one weekend. I've been a little busy with some of my other reads, but could not be more happy about picking this up. And Flip, thank you so much if you're watching this. The next series that I picked up a ton of and got caught up to is Golden Kamui, volumes 4 to 13, so up to date. I read the first 2 volumes of Golden Kamui a while ago, and I enjoyed it, but didn't really see the hype that so many people were giving it, and kind of put it on the back burner. And recently just decided to pick it up because I've been hearing so many good things about it. And jumping back into it, I am absolutely loving it. It's got really, really great characters. I think that's what really carries it. Just funny characters, a great story, and it's got a little bit of everything that you enjoy. It's got good comedy. It's got good action. It's got some cooking in there. I know some of you guys really love some cooking manga, so it's got a little bit of that, but not to the point where you're like, all right, this is freaking annoying. It's just a right amount that you're like, dang, that's kind of cool. Maybe I could live in the wilderness now. Bit of a side tangent, but you know, sometimes me personally, I'm like, man, if I just got thrown out into the wilderness, would I be able to live, or would I just instantly die? And when you kind of read some of the cooking parts of the series, you're like, okay, I need to remember that. I can use that to cook X, Y, or Z, and then I would survive. Kind of a silly point, but that's some of the appeal I have for the cooking in this. Yeah, a little bit of everything. Good action, good intensity, good gore too. You know, it is a seinen. You see that explicit, but nothing like sexually. It's just like very bloody, and you see the guys get their face cut off and things like that. Really enjoying this series. Really glad I decided to pick it back up. You know, this time period isn't necessarily my favorite, but it's very unique, I would say, when it comes to manga. And you know, you don't see a lot of series kind of based in this time, except if it has to do with like samurais, and this has nothing to do with that. There's some samurais actually, but really enjoying the series. And here is the final volume, which I believe recently just came out, but I definitely recommend this series. Look how good this art is, guys. Really unique art design and art style, which I appreciate as well. But I'm totally loving Golden Kamui and definitely recommend it to you guys. And the last series that I'm going to show off that I picked up is JoJo Part 4, Volumes 1. Actually, these aren't JoJonium editions. I don't know what these are called. Because JoJonium's finished on Part 3. But JoJo's Part 4, for those of you who watched my collection video know that I did not like JoJo's after Part 1. But after a lot of convincing, I was convinced to pick up part 2, and I really enjoyed that. So I picked up part 3, and I enjoyed that even more. I'm not finished. I'm still catching up on part 3. I'm on volume like 5, so I've got about halfway to go, but I'm absolutely loving it. So I knew, since I loved part 3 so much, my JoJo fanboyism just took off, and so I picked up part 4 as well. Don't know who the Joe star is in part 4. I'm really loving Jotaro right now, but here part 4 is really great. Some say part 4 is even better than part 3. So I'm excited to check it out and see what that's all about.
Alright, you beautiful people, that is going to wrap it for this haul. Got a lot of really awesome stuff that I'm going to have my hands extremely full with a lot of reading, but I'm excited for it. And to all the recent subscribers, thank you guys so much for the support. My channel has really blown up in the past month and a half, which I really appreciate. Hope you guys enjoy the content, and see you on the next one. Peace, guys.